So we're now going to add this little lens detail. As you can see, these are the ones that I've made in school to help students with their sort of working drawings, isometric drawings, exactly. It's actually a piece of 3mm acrylic, so we're going to add that to our drawing. Rather than just drawing it on our part one, this bit that we've drawn all in wood in theory, I'm actually going to draw it as a separate part and then look at assembling it. So the first thing I'm going to do is just rename this little tab here, which is our original drawing. So I'm going to call that camera. And I'm going to create a new part now. So if you look next to the camera that I've just renamed, there's a little plus symbol that says insert new element. All I'm going to do is go up to Part Studio, and you'll see it'll just create a new drawing window for me. I'm then just going to draw in our little lens. So click on Sketch again. This time I'm going to select the front plane, just in the fact that obviously our lens will be in the same angle, same orientation on that one. So I'm going to use the front plane. Go to Center Point Circle again, start in the origin, drag out a circle. Our circle was 20mm. So again, that's all we have to do on that. Click on the tick box, click on the extrude button, and then we're going to extrude that to just 3mm to represent a piece of acrylic. Oh, sorry, I forgot to go a bit too quick there. So again, I forgot to do this select the faces. So as you can see, you know, if something goes wrong, it always goes in red. Just reopens the box, and then I just need to actually select the face, which I forgot to last time. I'm rushing a little bit there. Click on the tick box. We've then finished that part realistically. I'm just going to put a bit of colour on. I'm going to make it a dark blue, so I'll probably use that one there. Click the tick box, get rid of that. So then we've got our very simple sort of lens glass, if you like, and just rename that drawing. Again, it's just easier to rename your drawings, your parts as you go along. It's very difficult once you get into it, so we'll call that lens glass. And you know, we could then potentially go on to add extra details. We'll look at that in another little video, and we just create as new parts as we go along. So at this stage, we then want to sort of assemble that lens glass into our camera. To do that, you can see at the bottom we've already got an assembly tab. So all we do is click on that. Again, if that's not there for any reason, if you click on the plus element, you can see I can create a new assembly by doing that, but we don't need to. Automatically defaults to a new assembly. Again, you'll see it looks very similar to the previous, but these icons at the top are slightly different. So when we come to assemble, we've clearly got to insert all our parts, which is what that button's for. And then we've got all these different icons, mate connectors, we'll talk about them in a second, and lots of different ways of joining your parts together. So we've got a fasten mate, which allows us not to move, a rotational mate, sliding mate, we can mate work planes together, cylindrical mates, etc, etc. So we'll start off just by inserting our first part. So again, whatever you've drawn down the bottom here will appear in your parts and assembly list here. So we're going to insert the camera first, drop it on the screen. And again, you can see I can sort of move it around. This is the origin. I can move it around that point. What I want to do is get it somewhere near. It doesn't matter as long as it's in your camera. Click on it. The first thing we have to do is right click and then fix our camera. That basically allows it to be rotated, but it's fixed around this origin, so it won't move. It's really important you do that on the first stage, otherwise your assemblies tend not to work very well. So once we've fixed it, we're then going to insert the lens glass. So click on the lens glass. Again, it'll drop it. Try not to put it in the right place at first. Again, give yourself a little bit of space. So I'm just going to drop it above. And again, you've got to sort of be pretty good at being able to rotate work now and zoom in and out for this next little bit. So how a mate works, if you think about it, I actually, you know, what I want to do, I'd want this back face of that hole that we cut out to be mated or glued to this back face here. I then want the outside edge to be aligned with the outside edge here. And that would then mate it. In theory, because it's a circle, you could actually still rotate it, but it's absolutely fine. To do that, we're going to use this fastened mate. What happens here, it's asking you to do some mate connectors. So first thing I would do, I would rotate to the back of that lens. And again, I'm just going to try and pull it into a bit closer on screen. Again, when I hover over it, you'll see, yeah, that it selects the outside and I get this, what we call the mate connector. Now that needs to be right in the middle of your work. And I always think of that as a bit like a big blob of glue or a big blob of super glue, something like that. That's literally what's going to mate onto the other parts. I'm going to click that with my left mouse button. I'm then going to tell it on the other parts what I want to mate it to. And again, this one gets a bit more complicated. So you can see I could actually mate it to that top face, and where that mate connector is, that part would literally join onto that top face right in the middle. Yeah, so if I did that, you'll see it sticks it in that place. Well, we don't want that, so I'm just going to delete that. So again, I'm going to go back into our mate. So again, select the back side of our lens, and we then want to look at the bottom of this hole. You can see it tends to try and snap to the sort of bigger surface at the front, but again, that would in theory do that. But you'll see if I did it on that way, that again, if you imagine where this little mate connector is, that's the blob of glue, it would actually glue that, yeah, in the right place, but you can see it's not set in. So again, that would be wrong. We'll try it to get the right way. So again, select the back of the circle, mate connector's right in the middle. We then need to do a bit of rotating to try and get the back. So you can see there, yeah, I'm at the back. Let me just do that again. So I'm at the back edge. And it's a bit hard. If you can't get it, come off your work. So I'm on the back face there. My mate connector's right in the middle of that back face. I left click, and then it should drop it exactly in the right place. Once I'm happy with it, tick the green box, and you can see there that it's actually sat flush with that back face of the hole. So we're left with this 3mm. Again, it's always wanting to do the next stage, so we don't need to do any more fastening on that. That's absolutely fine. So we just click on the cross there, and that's our assembled camera. So very basics of assembly.